Well, here we are at the entrance of Beach Bend, and we are broke down again. All right, it's Friday, 5 a.m. Leaving the house, headed over to the shop to meet up with everybody. Get ready to hit the road. All right, guys, what's up? It's LS Fest time, so we're stoked. We got the crew here. We got Randy, Trent, and Forrest. So you guys know Trent, Southeast Speed Shop. So we're here at, what is it, 6 a.m.? 6 a.m. departure. So we're getting ready to roll out of the shop here, Marietta, Georgia. Hit the road and head up to Bowling Green, Kentucky. So bringing you guys along for the ride. So I hope you enjoy it. Kentucky, and we are on the phone waiting on Holly to pick up because we've got a little issue with the Nova, and it continues to go lean as we're driving down the road. It just will get stuck in this loop where it just pops lean and then just stays there and won't come back out of it. So I don't know if something's going wrong with the ECU or something electrical, or the O2 sensors going bad or something like that. So we're gonna see if we can get in touch with Holly and see what they say. Car's still running, but I just don't want to tear anything up driving around with it lean like that. So see if we can get in touch with them. If we can't, I'm sure they got a lot of calls going on today, then we'll keep pressing on. But anyway, see how it goes. Well, this is as far as we can make it. Twin Lakes, Tractor and Lawn in Cookeville, Tennessee. We made it 200 miles. We still had 100 miles to go, and we just couldn't go any further. I have to say a huge thanks to the guys there at Twin Lakes. They went above and beyond to try and help us out, and we really appreciate it. We couldn't have made it the rest of the way without them. Which leads us to this. All right, so here we are heading into Bowling Green. Only we're not in the Nova anymore. We are now being towed into Bowling Green. So we ended up having to get a wrecker to get towed up here. So we're almost there now, and we'll see if we can get the Holly people to help us out. So we'll see what happens. The last 100 miles were on the back of a wrecker, getting towed there. But here we are unloading at LS Fest, getting ready to get registered. And then the car still runs some. We just couldn't make it the rest of the way, you know, on the interstate or on the highways. So as soon as we got unloaded, we immediately headed straight over to the Holley booth and started brainstorming with those guys on what we needed to do to try and diagnose and fix the issues we had going on. All right, morning guys. It's about 6:30 in the morning. I've been out here for about half an hour probably, just cleaning on the car, trying to get the engine compartment cleaned up a little bit and then start wiping the car down. So we're gonna go over to the show today and they're gonna do the judging. So try and get over there this morning because it's supposed to rain later. So we'll go ahead and try and get the car judged if we can. A lot of issues yesterday with the car not running well at all. Like we said, got towed in, and then driving from the venue last night over here to the hotel, we hit a couple auto parts stores and same deal, just not running well. Shut off a few times the 5 miles we had to make it over here. But huge thanks to the Holley guys for taking a look at it yesterday, spending a good amount of time with us, looking over everything, super helpful. So we'll see how it runs this morning. We put some new spark plugs in it last night, so hopefully it was just a bunch of fouled spark plugs. So we're gonna find out this morning. So we'll see how it does. Spend too much time inside Corvettes. He's gonna run out of gas on this like this. Let's get it, let me in.
Hey, Andy, right?
That's it. Yo, that's
that Chevy Nova that you guys are working on, our buddy. It's sitting up at the entrance. It didn't make it in. We put brand new plugs on it and everything last night. Still, it's jacked up. He sent me down to see if one of you guys would come up right before the entrance into the facility.
At a
see
ranch.
if you could give him some help, figure out what's going on. Okay, it's right before, like, before the main entrance coming through the road. No, it's at the farm right before you come in through. Yeah, right before you make the turn. Yeah, thank you.
Those are the exact two guys we need right there.
Yep.
You got your phone here?
Yeah.
Just call Ryan and tell him to bring them, but they're in a golf cart and they're slow. That's actually pretty quick timing. I don't think we could have done that any faster.
Man, it's a huge blessing that those are the first two gentlemen from Holly that we came across.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
we're working our way back out.
Oh, okay.
They were, I mean, it's kind of a blessing in disguise. Those were the first two gentlemen we came across in a golf cart.
Cool. Are they coming back out on the golf cart?
They are coming back out. They're in the golf cart. So it's gonna take us a minute to get back out. But
Okay.
we're coming back out that entrance road right now.
Okay.
Y'all still where you were?
Yeah. Thanks for it.
All right.
You're really close to getting in. It's like a couple hundred yards.
Yeah. All right, so Andy and Harrison eventually made it out to us on the side of the road where we began to diagnose the problem. So first thing we did was pull all the spark plugs, and we could clearly see that cylinders 2 and 6 were the culprits. So we could see by the plugs that we were losing fire on cylinders 2 and 6. And in return, with the settings we had on the ECU, it was causing the car to go lean because that fresh air was just blowing through. So the computer was trying to compensate by those two cylinders not firing and just adding a tremendous amount of fuel to the other, well, to all the cylinders, but the other 6 cylinders were incredibly rich. So we could see those 6 plugs were very dark and they were brand new from the night before. The cylinder 2 and 6 we could see were clear, means when it was going in lean and the computer was adding fuel, those 2 cylinders were not igniting. So this was causing the backfire that we heard, all that unburnt fuel flowing through the passenger side header and into the exhaust where it was lighting off. So with their help, playing with the tune a little bit, putting the plugs back in, and a laptop hooked up, we were actually able to get the car into the facility next to the Holly trailer where we could really start trying to figure out what was going on. Alright guys, still here at the Holly booth. Everybody's been super helpful trying to work on this car with us. Lots of different minds working on it, so taking a lot of their time. Really appreciate all the help and effort going into this. So we had a little rain shower move through, so we just paused our work for a minute, and then we're going to get back on it. We think it's an ignition issue, so we're trying to work on that now. The coils just don't seem to be, they're intermittent. The coil, a couple cylinders are getting intermittent spark, so we're trying to narrow that down. So see if we can keep after it. Got a couple more ideas, hopefully figure something out. All right, so we started our diagnosis process by looking at the injectors. So they had some tools that allowed us to check the pulse width, the duty cycle, and everything on the injectors. We wanted to make sure those 2 cylinders were firing the injectors properly so that we knew they were getting fuel, because maybe those 2 cylinders, the reason they weren't burning off is because they weren't getting any gas. So we checked all those, that all checked out fine. So we knew the injectors were fine, and we said, okay, let's start looking here at spark and let's check the spark. So they had some tools where we could just stick a plug in, ground it out, and see how those cylinders were sparking. And what we found out, it was super intermittent spark on cylinders 2 and 6. So we said, okay, now we know, you've got 4 and 8, which are firing fine on that side of the engine, but 2 and 6 are not firing. It's real weak spark, sometimes it's intermittent. And you can tell that by the footage of us driving into the facility. Sometimes it's working fine, then it just quits working, then it's working okay again, then it's not working at all. So we're going through this, and we start the process by looking at wiring. Okay, so let's check the ground. So the ground's good. Yes, we checked that out. Is the wiring, these are sensitive, so is the wiring back directly to the battery from the ECU? Does it have clean power? So we actually took some extra leads, we rewired everything. Everything was perfect. The way we had it wired was correct. It's wired straight to the battery. The grounds were clean. They were grounded properly. Everything went back to the battery. So we said, all right, the wiring is good as far as the power and the grounds, so we know that's good. And clearly the other cylinders are all firing fine. So what's going on with these 2 cylinders? So you got a few different things. Could be coils. Was it the plugs themselves? Is it the plug wires? Is it something in the wiring? that's causing these two to act up? Is there a common ground or something between these two cylinders in the harness that's an issue? Is it the ECU that's an issue? So we had all these things running around in our head. And what we did is we ended up changing out we looked at the plug wires, they looked pretty good. You know, the coils, we ended up, first, we flipped them around. We said, all right, so we're not getting good spark on cylinder 2, but cylinder 4 is firing fine. So we went in and changed them around. We flipped them. So we said, let's put that coil on this one, and let's put that coil on 2 and 4. Let's just swap them. So we did that, and then both of them were firing fine. So, okay, well, this thing's intermittent. Maybe now they're just both firing off. I don't know. It's so random, it's hard to tell. It's really hard to diagnose when it's not a consistent problem. So we're scratching our heads. We said, well, let's do this. Since we were moving those around, maybe there's something in the coil harness that's loose. And when I swapped them around, I pushed it back in. Therefore, it's working fine now. So Holly had an extra coil harness. So we said, let's check this and let's just swap it out. So this is the harness that goes from the main ECU harness to the 4 individual coils on the even side of the motor. So we swapped this coil harness out, and then the bottom dropped out, and it rained, and it rained, and it rained some more, and it just kept raining basically the rest of the afternoon, which really basically halted our diagnostic process here. We really can't test a lot of electrical stuff in the middle of a downpour. So we really got stuck. So we were kind of in a pinch at this point. So we said, let's just, as soon as traffic clears out and this evening, we'll try driving it and see if this coil harness has solved our issue.
What's up, guys? It's Sunday morning. It's been a rainy couple of days up here. It's like 6 in the morning right now. I think about 7 or 8 it's supposed to start raining again pretty much all day up here. So we seem to have both cars running for now.
All right, pause here for a moment. We had driven the car around Saturday night for 45 minutes with 0 issues. So at this point, we assumed that coil harness that we had swapped out, which was the last thing we changed when we were at LS Fest Saturday night at the Holly booth, that we had fixed the issues. So as far as we were concerned, the car was running good now, no more issues. It's going to rain all day, time to head home.
So we're going to probably hit the road as soon as we get up. I think we're going to leave out of here about 8 o'clock in the morning. Get loaded up and just go ahead and head down the interstate. That way if we have any issues, we're close to help, or at least close to an exit. So it's been a good trip. Can't thank the Holly people enough for all they did, helping us diagnose issues and really spent a lot of time with us. So huge thanks to them. But anyway, we'll get on the road here shortly and probably have a rainy drive home. Looks like it's going to rain most of the trip. So fortunately, we got those wipers working. You know, Trent's car's running good, Southeast Beach Shop. So hopefully be able to roll down the road. Probably taking it pretty easy because neither of our tires are real conducive to a whole bunch of rain. So we'll just take it easy and try and head home. So it's been a good adventure, a lot of memories, a lot of experience here, a lot of knowledge shared with us on this trip. So it's been a pretty good time. So we'll have some memories here. So all right, let's hit the road.
All right, guys, give you a little update here. We're in Portland, Tennessee. We went by the Corvette Museum this morning and then headed out and didn't make it very far. Got about half an hour out of Bowling Green on 65 South, and then the car just started acting up again. So the issues we thought we had corrected, we didn't get them fixed. So got some good friends. Jeremy and Johnny are going to be here shortly with the trailer. We've been hanging out here for, gosh, probably 5 hours. So they're coming up from our home in Marietta up here to Tennessee to come pick us up with truck and trailer. So we're gonna have to load the Nova up and drag it home, but unfortunately we couldn't make the rest of the trip. So it's running good and strong there for a while, and then just fell on its face again. So we've got a coil issue, some sort of ignition issue. So we got to get it home and try and figure it out. So thought we had it figured out yesterday and had things good, but not the case. So thankful to have somebody come pick us up and bring us home. So Jeremy and Johnny should be here shortly, so we'll get this thing loaded up and headed back to the house. It's been one of those adventures, man. A lot of memories, but not a lot of stuff you want to remember, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you do. I'm sure we'll laugh about it at some point.
This is Ryan's version of Cirque du Soleil.
Graceful.
There you go. Well, you see why Jeremy always takes Heather along. She don't do it anymore.
She's wise up. Huh?
Yeah.
And that's the show.
All right, we made it back to the shop finally. Towed back by Jeremy and Johnny on the trailer. It's 12:41 in the morning, Monday morning. So we left Bowling Green Sunday, I don't know what it was, 10 a.m. from the museum. Finally made it home, so back to the shop. The shop closed up. We've got some fans going over there and over there. Gonna leave it propped open because everything got wet inside with all the rain that we had. Floor mats, we've got those propped up here drying. And everything's generally pretty nasty from all the rain, but thankful to be back. Thankful for good friends and family helping us out. Everybody that helped, Trent, Forrest, my dad, Johnny, Jeremy, everybody that helped make this trip possible. So a lot of good memories. I'm sure in a couple weeks we'll look back on it and laugh, I don't know, something. But still got to diagnose the ignition issue. Something's going on there where it's misfiring on a couple cylinders. So we'll get that figured out. Anytime you road trip, you learn a lot about your car. So we've learned we've got some ignition issues to figure out and a couple leaks we've got to get sealed up, make it a little more waterproof. But other than that, glad to be back and glad we could go up to the vent. Thankful to all the Holley guys for helping us out and pouring their knowledge in and trying to diagnose what's going on. So other than that, for us, LS Fest 2020 is a wrap. Catch you guys later. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on those post notifications so you'll know every time we post a new video.
Yeah.